Welcome to Totally Abstracted. I'm Michelle, and today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind in regards to my own creative journey, the return of the figure, and a growing pull towards more deliberate shapes and objects, like castles, boats, bridges, in my abstract landscapes. If you've ever felt that quiet nudge to try something outside your usual style, or to circle back to something you thought you'd left behind, this episode is for you. Abstract landscapes have always been my main love. I adore the freedom they offer, the emotional tone, the atmosphere, the subtle stories that emerge from marks and texture. But there have been times when I've been painting faces, figures, even florals, still loose and expressive, but more recognisably something. At the time, I think I needed that connection to some sort of form. And in particular, with my portraits, I really enjoyed that vulnerability and honesty about painting faces. I learned a lot about emotion, gesture, and suggestion through those pieces. Eventually, I moved back to my abstract landscapes, and it felt like home. But lately, that itch has returned. I find myself wanting to include figures again, maybe a small house, a distant bridge, a castle on the hill, even a deliberate boat, rather than the ones that seem to emerge accidentally from my technique. So if you follow me on Instagram or watch my videos, you'll see some of this emerging, because I'm letting myself follow that thread. I think we sometimes box ourselves in creatively. We define ourselves. I'm an abstract artist. I don't paint figures. I only use this palette. But the truth is, creativity is cyclical. What we've done before doesn't just disappear. It simmers, it informs, and sometimes it calls us back in a new way. Maybe it's not about going backwards. Maybe it's all a spiral. You return to a place you've been before, but you bring new tools, new insight, and a fresh way of seeing. What you learn in one area of your art practice almost always enriches another. Working with figures previously taught me about proportion, rhythm, and suggestion. Florals taught me about colour transitions, organic movement, and softness. Now, as I explore things again, I notice my landscape shifting, gaining new structure, narrative hints, and emotional nuance. When you allow different modes of art making to mix, your work gains depth. It becomes a patchwork of everything you've felt, tried, and explored. It's not confusion, it's richness. So if there's a part of you that's craving something different, maybe it's sketching faces, playing with collage, trying realism, writing poetry alongside your painting, scratch that creative itch. You don't need to pivot your whole style, you're feeding the soil. Experimenting keeps things fresh, and staying open is how we keep growing, not just as artists, but as humans. Don't be afraid of exploring something and think it will ruin your style. In truth, it's often the very thing that will help you evolve it. So here are a few takeaways from today. Creative paths aren't linear. They spiral, loop, and evolve. Let yourself revisit old loves. You'll bring new insight this time round. Working in different modes, figures, objects, realism, doesn't dilute your voice, it strengthens it. Your artistic identity is big enough to hold all your interests. Play and experimentation are not distractions, they're nourishment. And this week I want to invite you to create a small piece that blends your current style with something you haven't done in a while. That might mean adding a figure into your abstract landscape, or a recognisable object like a tree, bridge, or animal. Maybe you once loved painting florals or interiors. Bring a hint of that into your current work. The challenge is to let it be loose, expressive, and true to you now. Don't overthink, just see what emerges when you let two parts of your creative self meet on the canvas. As always, I'd love to see what you create. Come share it in my free Abstract Horizons community if you'd like to connect with others on this path. Our creativity isn't meant to stay in a single lane. It's wild, organic, and ever-shifting. When we say yes to those nudges, the ones that tug at our sleeve and whisper, try this, we often discover the next chapter of our artistic voice. Thanks so much for listening today. I hope this episode reminds you that it's okay to wonder, to experiment, and to welcome in new and old inspirations. Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and keep things totally abstracted.